Hello. So we're cracking on with Dragon Age right now, aren't we? Cool stuff. So we're gonna. This is gonna be. I think every now and again we're gonna do an intermission sort of a episode where we're gonna be running around Skyhold, talking to our companions, things like that. I think that's all this episode's gonna be. So there shouldn't be too much story stuff in this episode. It's mainly the fallout of what we did last time with Adamant Fortress and things like that. Make sure that I'm loading the right one. There we go. Saw a comment the other day. This guy's had a cold since 2019. Well, you know, the last video you saw was probably in 2019. So again, just dealing with the fallout today of what's going on. You're about to see, after Adamant Fortress, obviously we've got quite a lot more money coming in and things like that. So you're going to see the main hall done, finished. So we got now our really cool throne there. Got some statues behind us of sexy Canary women, of course. Of course. Oh, a naked Canary dude there. I mean, you know, his parts are covered up, which is good. And a naked Canary female. I mean, you know, why not?
What's the chant say about this? I never paid attention.
Assholes kicked in the Maker's door. He made them darkspawn. That's why there's blight, and we have to give wardens our weapons.
You still miss that bloody sword.
It was a good blade.
I guess the hero of River Dane's story finally came to an end. Loghain was the Ferelden ideal, you know, the common boy who freed his kingdom and became a Terran. He helped to end the Fifth Blight. The rest aside, that made him a hero. He wasn't the first good man to fall to Corypheus. He won't be the last. This story's no good for heroes.
We're taking down Corypheus before he takes any more lives.
You know, sometimes when you say shit like that, I almost start to believe it. Oh, Hawk asked me to tell everyone back in Kirkwall where he's going. Maker's breath, Isabella's going to be furious. I'd better write some letters. Excuse me.
It's nice to hear the Dragon Age 2 theme again, right? Been ages since I played that on the channel. So on Varek's desk, you've got the coins here, things that you know, represent him as a character. Got the coins, got the tankard here. You got the ale behind him. Got a nice dwarven seat next to a fire. I'd have put an quill and parchment down here too, but you know it is what it is.
Hello, Inquisitor. Honored Inquisitor. Gotzi Sturholm. Did my part on the walls, and now I'm on this strange collection you've brought us. Don't know it's worth to the fight exactly, but it's good workmanship.
Where did you learn your skills?
Orzammar. Carved a few statues in my day. And before you ask, yes, I chose to leave. I carved a paragon who turned out to be a sodding madwoman. Couldn't stand looking at it. The memory of a dwarf, right?
Any ideas about the origin of these reliefs?
To Vinter, early. It's in the tool marks, the grain. That's hard dust mined from the 100 Pillars, if I know anything. Oh, I suppose the scene is probably full of Tevinter robes, too.
The 100 Pillars.
Damnedest things. Massive spires that aren't stone. It's like a mortar. Don't know more than that. Strong, though.
Do you have any insight into the stories these tiles are supposed to depict?
Tell you what. You finish one, and I'll write it up. Who better, right? A good dwarven perspective.
Another time.
Best of the vein, Inquisitor.
So we only got 2 pieces. Oh. So his paintings are coming along. I think it shows you your progress through the game. I know it looks like we're 3/4 of the way through, but we're not. Plus we've got 2 DLCs to do as well.
I cannot believe the Grey Wardens could even conceive of such a plan. To seek out these old gods deliberately, in some bizarre attempt to preempt the Blight.
Grey Wardens have always been dangerous. They care for nothing beyond stopping the Darkspawn.
Like a fair maiden chasing a butterfly off a cliff. Except that if you hadn't stopped them, we'd all have fallen. Those fools and duty. Responsibility is not expertise. Action is not inherently superior to inaction. Forgive me. The entire idea is unnerving.
You have remarkably little here on early to Vinter history. All these gifts to the Inquisition, and the best they can do is the Malefica Imperio. Trite propaganda. But if you want 20 volumes on whether Divine Galatea took a shit on Sunday, this is evidently the place to find it.
And find another library. Don't whine to me about it.
I'm not whining.
Yes, you are.
Fine, perhaps a little. I've good cause. Did I see something by Genitivi here? I could have sworn.
What is this about, Dorian?
What else could it be about? What happened at Adamant, of course. We went into the Fade. Physically went in. You do realize this feat hasn't been performed in over 1,000 years.
Yes, it has.
Corypheus and his contemporaries entered the Fade and began the Blight. In comparison.
Like, this is the thing about the problem with going into the Fade, right? Oh, sorry, bloody phone going off. Of course, when I'm recording, no one ever phones unless I'm recording. That's the rule. They're only allowed to phone when I'm recording. I've been sitting here all day marking papers, and not once has this phone gone off. Now I'm recording. There you go. Right, so this is the problem with using the Fade and entering the Fade as a plot point that the whole game revolves around. We've done this before. We've physically entered the Fade before. It's been done before. Okay? If you're in Dragon Age Awakening, you saw me playing through that. The Warden does it. He goes into the Fade. He's pulled into the Fade. He actually goes into the Fade. It's been done before. Now, of course, Dorian doesn't know that. Okay? So there might be a bit of dramatic irony going on. But on the flip side, we do know that. And so it lessens the impact of what's happening. We were like, well, it's not that big of a deal,
You're right. I was fortunate.
Indeed. Although there is cause for concern. If you can walk in the Fade, others will try to follow. Who knows what secrets Corypheus has revealed? Not all of them will be as lucky as you. What they could unleash. My advice? Keep this quiet. Let them speculate. Too many will see this as a challenge.
That's a good idea.
There are enough idiots in the world who think if they just use enough blood magic, their problems will vanish. It's exactly the sort of thing I want to stop back home. This I don't need. What I do need is a copy of the Liberalum. I'll wager I can find Corypheus' real name. If I can prove he was a grasping ankle-biter with no family to speak of, the luster would come right off. Wish me luck.
Well, that sounds reasonable. Yeah, it sounds like an interesting thing to do. No sarcasm. That literally does sound like a reasonable thing to do. But she's got pet Nug somewhere.
Our agents have encountered more followers of Corypheus, the so-called Venatori. Their leader, Calpurnia, has them searching elven ruins. For what, I do not know. I propose we stop the Venatori before they find what they seek.
Do you know anything about Calpurnia?
Only that Calpurnia is a name from ancient Tevinter legend. An unusual one. She was a priestess of Dumat, foster mother to the founder of the Imperium. A name like that is meant to assure the Venatori they follow in the footsteps of legends. We must prove them wrong.
What strategy do you have in mind?
A subtle approach. These Venatori have been shadowing a merchant called Vicinius on Calpurnia's orders. They've investigated his finances, surveyed his warehouses. I propose that you meet with Vicinius. Flatter him. Find out what he knows of Calpurnia.
Vicinius sounds like a Tevinter name.
Born in Tallow. Although he claims to be from Virantium, he sells rare oils and amber, and prefers red wine to white.
What side of the bed does he sleep on?
He's unremarkable. I cannot think why Calpurnia would care.
What if Vicinius is as much in the dark as we are?
It never hurts to eliminate an avenue of inquiry. And we should tread lightly with the Venatori. They have contacts and spies, just as we do. The sooner you speak with Vicinius, the better.
If flattery doesn't work, I'll try something stronger.
As bards say, begin with the sweetest verse. Vicinius could be a most helpful friend. I'll make arrangements for you to visit his summer home in Val Royeaux. Hopefully, your attention should be enough to pique his interest. We'll have Calpurnia's secrets yet.
Okay. What about Colin is and all this? I think he's in one of these towers. This one. There we go.
As leader of the Inquisition, there's something I must tell you.
All right?
Lyrium grants Templars our abilities, but it controls us as well. Those cut off suffer. Some go mad, others die. We have secured a reliable source of Lyrium for the Templars here. But I no longer take it.
You stopped?
When I joined the Inquisition. It's been months now.
Why are you doing this?
After what happened in Kirkwall, I couldn't. I will not be bound to the Order, or that life any longer. Whatever the suffering, I accept it. But I would not put the Inquisition at risk. I've asked Cassandra to watch me. If my ability to lead is compromised, I will be relieved from duty.
Are you in pain?
I can endure it.
Cassandra takes things as seriously as you do. If she has no problem with this, neither do I.
I thought you had a right to know. The Inquisition's army must always take priority. Should anything happen, I will defer to Cassandra's judgment.
Fair enough. So we know where he is now.
Strangest thing, when I reached down, my dagger was gone. Just gone. Know where I found it? In a barrel. The thing was filled to the brim with daggers. Got the strangest feeling.
So there are parts of the castle we need to build up still, but you know. Apart from that, everything's fine. Is that a door I can go into up there? Yeah, it is. What is that? what's this? So most of these towers are pretty much not ruined, but like messy. Need to sort that out. Okay, this one I can use though. Alright. Right up onto the battlements, I like it. It's a very nice looking game. Like for 2014, it's kind of ridiculous how good looking it is. Okay, just jump off the side here. Yes. Oh, what's that? Oh.
Fertile ground, even here. This hold has everything.
Inquisitor, Elan Vemar. Honored to represent the College of Herbalists and offer my services as apothecary. My colleague Adan was clear about the worth of your cause. I look forward to assisting him.
I wasn't aware we had requested a replacement for him.
Not a replacement. With recent escalations, he asked for help so he could spend his time gathering resources. Which means the old tosser wanted some garden time. All the mundane needs of Skyhold will be well tended. If you note anything special, let me know. I'm here to serve the cause we must.
Okay.
Inquisitor, the soldiers say you banished the demons at Adamant and freed the Grey Warden mages. I understand from Sister Leliana that the truth is somewhat more complex, but no less extraordinary. She said that you spoke with a figure in the Fade that seemed to be the soul of divine Justinia. I suspect many of the faithful would like to know what Justinia told you.
She helped me remember what happened at the Conclave. The Maker didn't give me the mark on my hand. I was struck in battle. And Andraste didn't send me. The figure everyone saw was divine Justinia.
So it is as you have always maintained. You must feel quite vindicated.
Too many people look to the Maker to solve their problems. It's never that easy.
You do a disservice to their faith, Inquisitor. Those who looked to the Maker never asked for a literal hand to stretch out of the Fade to protect them. They wanted a sign that in this harsh and unforgiving world, there existed some reason to hope. And they found that in you.
Dress it up as fancy as you like. We're still lying to these people.
This is the trouble with metaphors and the educated. A farmer cannot understand the truth of the Maker, so he learns that the Maker is a man, but greater. A mage learns the same thing, knows it to be simplistic, and feels clever for realizing it is not literally true. But a metaphor is not a lie. It is a tool to help people understand something beyond them, and we need such a tool.
That's all well and good for humans and the Maker. It hasn't worked as well for Kunari.
You are not raised under the Qun, but from what little I understand of it, is it not somehow similar? Does it not guide the Kunari in overcoming their lesser natures to find a better life, like the Chant of Light? I must believe there is something beyond the metaphors that divide and confuse. Something that watches and cares. And I will continue to pray to whatever that is, as best I can.
Farewell.
Be well, Inquisitor.
So, I'm sure you've noticed, like, in the... He was talking about them, about lying to people there, because when he's with Giselle, he sort of lets down his guard and just starts talking normally. But, you know, during the Adamant Fortress, he did say, look, you know, let them believe whatever they need to believe to get this done. And that's how he is. He's very much that way inclined. You know, let them get on with it. Let them do what they need to do. You know, whatever's needed to win a fight, essentially.
I went to Warden Loghain to give my respects. He knew me. He even remembered my name. Best commander this world will ever know. Thanks for my life in Haven. You've all sorts serving now. If that means change, so be it.
She's not quartermaster anymore. I'm not really happy that they're changing all of my agents, you know. But I think that Bioware did that because some of them might die in Haven. So instead of them like having to script all that, they just said, well, they're just all going to get replaced either way.
Well, how about that?
Any stories?
Oh, plenty. No one interesting, though.
Our struggle is young. Rest assured, intrigue begets begetting.
You got your wish, sort of.
Right. Great ones.
Not so sure you want them now.
Let's just say I'm glad they're moving on.
We do have Grey Warden standing about.
The spiderwebs help stop the bleeding, and they prevent wounds from getting infected.
Writing does not come naturally to me, as I'm certain you can imagine.
Let me guess, you're composing a love poem.
I couldn't, not even if my life depended on it.
It's not that hard.
Yes, it is. Poetry takes finesse, it takes grace.
Do you think you don't have those things?
Historians will one day ask what happened at Adamant Fortress, in the Fade. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. It must be recorded.
Fair enough. Just be careful what you write.
Do not be concerned. I am a poor writer, but not unaware of the weight my words might carry. I still don't know what to say about the spirit of the Divine. I saw her there, heard her voice, yet I cannot claim with certainty it was really her. The Chantry teaches us that the souls of the dead pass through the Fade, so it could have been her, yet even so.
Do you really think it might have been her? A ghost?
A ghost, a remnant of her hopes and memories, her lingering will to do good. Those things are all possible. Nobody knows for certain what happens after we die. A spirit could have assumed her form, but why? It helped you, as Justinia herself would have.
I think it was a spirit, that's all.
Perhaps it saw Justinia's soul, and admired it enough to carry on her wishes. I hope that's true. I want to believe it. When I realized we were physically in the Fade, I was terrified, almost beyond reason. The last time such a thing happened, we created Darkspawn. We created Corypheus. The world needs to know the truth this time. No more legends lost to the ages.
Bonk.
Drills upon drills. Familiarity.
Better tavern than last time.
Inquisitor.
And you are...
The bartender, Cabot.
just the bartender?
You were expecting...
I was expecting the same face from Haven.
It's not a hereditary profession. I think Fleesa... what was it? She joined the Chantry? I don't understand the type, but that's her business. So...
Where did you study? I assume you trained.
Bartending? I'm no alchemist. You mix the bottles that don't taste like nug and you pretend to listen. I suppose I trained at home, during feast day family visits. My specialty is ale. Old Antivan recipe. The secret is ale.
You're a bit of a hard ass. Why are you here?
If I could fight, I'd be in a helmet. If I was a mage, I'd throw fire. And probably be dead. But I can't do anything. Just like the hundreds of people who can't do anything. Who make sure the thousands who can do something can do it. Besides, if you know a safer place than your castle, do share.
As you were.
Inquisitor.
Fair dues.
Again. Come on! This is why the Qun doesn't like women fighting. I should have asked Cullen. Good one.
Perhaps you can take over.
Gunari training exercise to master your fear. Been a while since I needed it, but that nightmare demon was... big.
Not even going to ask.
All right.
There we go. Oh, yeah. Damn demon. Who's stuck in the fade, huh?
That nightmare wanted to tear you in half.
Not a chance. Piece of fade, piece of crap. And who killed you? That's right. Iron fucking Bull. I needed that. Thanks, boss.
Anytime.
Just Canary being Canary.
I can keep staring at this, but I won't get any closer.
Keep banging your head against the problem. It'll go away eventually.
I'm predictable, I know. I suppose I'll never find them on my own. You recall the demon at Therenfall? The one impersonating Lord Seeker Lucius? We never found the real Lord Seeker, or his body. Indeed, I've seen no hint of any Seekers amongst the Red Templars, or anywhere. I have a growing suspicion Corypheus has imprisoned them.
Why imprisoned? He could just as easily have killed them.
Not easily. But yes, they may be dead. Yet a demon of envy does not kill whomever it replaces. It hides them away and learns about them. There must be a trail we can follow, yet so far I have only discovered hints.
But they could have ended up just like the Red Templars.
Seekers do not use lyrium. I assume Corypheus gained control of the Templars by corrupting the lyrium they were already taking. To do the same to a Seeker, you'd have to force the lyrium upon him. That may be what happened, but it couldn't have begun that way. We're missing a piece of the puzzle, Inquisitor. I need to find it.
Finding them obviously means a lot to you.
I left the Order, but I can never abandon them. I cannot even claim that rescuing them would be beneficial. They wouldn't look kindly on the Inquisition. But even so, if there's a chance...
Fair.
If we can spare resources to follow up on these leads, Inquisitor, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
And what else did Lady Forsythia say? That she'd rather drown herself than help the Inquisition. Anything else? She said she'd have us flogged alive if we allied with her brother.
That does sound like her.
Cheer up, Josie. We at least have her attention.
You always do find the brighter side of things.
We are in the midst of cementing an alliance with Lady Forsythia of Navarra, your worship. It's become a somewhat delicate task.
She'll have us flogged alive?
I believe she meant flayed alive. Her ladyship tends to confuse metaphors when she's excitable. I dissuaded her from sending soldiers when she learned we'd struck an accord with a brother she's feuding with. Lady Forsythia simply employs a colorful manner of speech.
Do you always apologize for bloodthirsty nobles?
It's the usual showmanship expected from those in power, Inquisitor. Nothing more. But I confess I do miss my staff from the embassy in Antiva. It was always useful to discuss the day's visitors with them.
I have time, if you'd like to review things with me.
I wouldn't wish to impose.
If it were imposing, I wouldn't have offered.
Well, I admit there are a few potential alliances it would be good to discuss.
Right on the parlor floor, in front of everyone at the soiree. Who does such a thing in front of their guests?
The Duke of Kellington, apparently.
And then there's Cole's lurking. It frightens our guests half to death. Lord Gennard still won't respond to our letters. And Sarah, can she not find a single overshirt without mustard stains on it? Then there's Dorian. The man refuses to take anything seriously unless it suits its whim. Not to mention... Oh goodness. Have we been here an hour already?
It went by so quickly, I didn't even notice.
You're far too polite. I didn't intend to go on for so long. You must think me quite the gossip.
Spending time with such an engaging woman is never unpleasant, Lady Montilyet.
Goodness. I'm glad I haven't wasted your day. Well, I've taken up quite enough of your time already. Until next time, your worship.
I swear she was a voice in Medieval 2 Total War. I swear. Maybe it's just that faux Mediterranean accent, I don't know. In terms of romances, I think he's just going to keep on flirting with Cassandra and Josephine until one of them takes him up on the offer, basically. Or none of them. It's quite hard to be a Lothario in Dragon Age Inquisition. What was I doing? Who was I talking to? Right, Cole and...
Inquisitor.
We'll do Vivienne first, shall we? No, we'll do Cole. We'll do Cole. Upstairs in the tavern.
True enough.
Sarah was never an agreeable girl.
We don't need those chargers. We've soldiers enough without cell swords.
Look at their captain. What good could that bring?
Mercs are mercs. Can't trust any of them. There's no cause but to quit.
I hope that's the case for leader.
If you say so.
Heard what went on in that Fade thing. What you think went on. Can't even start to believe that business.
We can stew about what we saw for ages, but some of us didn't come back.
Knew you'd get what was important. Yammer, visions and shite. People are dead. Probably. Logain, yeah? Not a lot of tears for that one. And in trade, a busted down bunch of wardens. And they're always weird. Usually, bad stuff happens first, so you're glad when the hero shows up. But wardens are the wrong way round. They're the good thing that means a bad thing is about to happen. Like in Denerim, when the Blight ended.
They can be whatever, so long as they're useful.
A lot of people expect them to be a thing, though. And a lot of people are real good at using them. Blackwall's nice, though. Different from the Adamant ones. Need more like him.
He is nice, but he's not a Grey Warden, so there's that.
Hey you, I have an Inquisitor favor to ask. Just a little thing, really. A little march around for some of your people. It's nothing for you, right?
I won't agree to anything without details.
Smart of you. I wouldn't dream of wasting your super important time.
Then don't.
It's a Red Jenny thing. I got a tip that some noble stiffs are arguing over Verschel. Land squabble. They're getting little people beat up. So I need you to go to your big table and send some people to walk through town.
Just walk through?
Just walk through. Easy, right?
Was this a tip from one of your friends?
Not a Jenny. Just normal angry people getting sick of being in the middle. I don't usually hear about things this far away. But having a friend like you is like getting really big ears. Bigger ears, I guess. Shut up.
Who is asking for this?
I'm asking, because I heard people complaining. See, when nobles fight, it's not them. It's their little people stuck in the middle. It's like a polite war, so no one pays attention. But if you march through, the people up top feel threatened too. Stuff like this is always happening. Good sovereigns to be made if you're one of the few who notice.
What does the Inquisition get out of this?
Nobles think everyone is out to get them. So when your helmets march through, both sides will think the other's your ally. Both get scared, both make deals. Worst case, you get a little bump among the people just because they see you active. Can't promise anything, but something will happen. Just like always.
All right, Sarah. I'll have someone look into it.
It's fun, right? Well, not much of a thing. Not everything has to be torn skies and ancient arseholes. Every little thing makes a difference somewhere.
Very easy to miss Cole up here.
No. But you like demons. I enjoy the company of spirits, yes, which is part of why I do not abuse them with bindings. It isn't abuse if I ask. Not always true. Also, I do not practice blood magic, which renders this entire conversation academic.
He won't bind me. He's a mage and he likes demons, but he won't help.
We just saw the Grey Wardens try to raise an army of demons. You want Solus to bind you?
He has to! If Solus won't do the ritual to bind me, someone else could. Will. Like the Warden mages. And then... I'm not me anymore. Walls around what I want. Blocking, bleeding, making me a monster.
A mage using blood magic could conceivably do that to any one of us, human or demon.
You should ask Solus to bind you too. And then someone can bind him.
There has to be some middle ground between do nothing and bind Cole with blood magic.
Indeed. I recall stories of amulets used by Raveni seers to protect spirits they summoned from rival mages. A spirit, wearing an amulet of the Unbound, was immune to blood magic and binding. It should protect Cole as well. The resources of the Inquisition could be used to find such a talisman.
Good. They will not take me.
Okay, so we're filling up with side quests right now.
Good book?
Ah! I don't know what you're talking about.
Wait, are you blushing?
What would I have to blush about?
You tell me.
It's of no interest to you, I'm certain. It's a book.
I can see that.
It's one of Varric's tales. Swords and Shields, the latest chapter.
So you like to read? What's wrong with that?
It's frivolous. There are more important things for me to do.
She's read this one 3 times.
You! I told you to stop spying!
You read it out loud to me. I don't like the captain either.
I never did that. It's literature. Smutty literature. Whatever you do, don't tell Varric.
Maybe I should read that book.
You? No!
Why not me?
You're the Inquisitor.
Oh, I see.
They're terrible. And magnificent. And this one ends in a cliffhanger. I know Varric is working on the next. He must be. You could ask him to finish it. Command him to... Pretend you don't know this about me.
Not now, sister.
I know what you mean to do. It won't help.
My father drowned there. Who are you to tell me what will make me feel better? I'll find him. I'll find the mayor, and I'll...
Decide your actions before you go. In the moment, there's only before and too late.
Thank you for saving my life, and giving us a chance to help. I'm mostly studying now, but Hellismer can talk to you.
What a knave.
Thank you for Haven and your efforts at Therenfall. I am committed to serve your worship.
Someone I knew once described Adamant to me. Adamant is, and always will be, the Order, he said. A guardian on the edge of the abyss. The lone soul that stares into oblivion and doesn't waver. That's what Warden Commander Clarel tried to be. Well, they all tried to be. I'm told her wardens never wavered. They went to their deaths willingly. They died for us. And Corypheus twisted their sacrifice to make it his own.
Clarel thought she was the only one who could save the world. He was arrogant.
But her intentions were pure. Her desire to protect was so great it led her astray. It's not right. To want to do good, to be good, and have that turned against you.
You can't expect everything to go well all the time.
No. But we still have to try, don't we? Even Clarel. She had to try. It's not the armor or the trappings of the Order. It's not the... joining. At the heart
It is.
of it.
It is.
All a Warden is a promise.
No, it's not.
To protect others.
No, it's
even
not.
At the cost of your own
No,
life.
it's not. No, it's not. Like, categorically, he doesn't understand what a Grey Warden is. He just doesn't. He doesn't get it. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's so obvious that he's not a Grey Warden.
Finally,
Like,
a place for the horses. I forgot about the Ferelden horses.
no, you didn't. Like, but no, it's not. It is all about the joining. The guy is clueless. It is about the joining. That's how you kill the Archdemon. Right? Wardens do whatever they must to stop the Blight. Now, if he came to me with that argument, as a Warden would, and say, the reason why Clarel did that was because we needed, you know, she thought she could end all blights and blah, blah, blah. Fine. You know, still stupid, but fine. I mean, look, what does the Grey Warden do? As in, the Grey Warden, the guy from Dragon Age Origins. He goes away and tries to find a cure for the calling, because he doesn't believe it's real. He doesn't believe that the calling Griffiths is doing is real. Fine. But you don't go summoning loads of demons. You don't trust someone from bloody Tevinter, do you? Who started the Blight in the first place. For God's sake, Blackwall. It's just so obvious he's not who he says he is. Like, I literally, when I first played this game, it's such good writing, because I think that they're trying to get you to sort of figure it out too, if you played Origins. Like, I knew, like, from the very moment I spoke to him, I was like, this guy isn't a fucking Grey Warden. Like,
Did you see what they did?
Sorry, I really need to write some letters. Another time, all right?
Fine.
Inquisitor.
Another completed work of whatever they used to call them.
Where is the way up to the next level? Here? Yeah.
It's a noble calling, the Knight Enchanter. You have joined the ranks of the most select mages. You should be commended. So few have the discipline necessary.
I didn't realize you were a Knight Enchanter, Vivienne.
Of course I am, darling. Knight Enchanters serve in the highest echelons of the Chantry and Circle. Where else would I be?
I simply prefer to be on the front line.
It's always best to take charge, my dear.
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
If the Circle disbanded, how can you still belong to it?
The Circle is an idea, my dear. And an idea cannot be dissolved. Many of the first enchanters voted for rebellion, caring little that anything short of a unanimous decision would pit mage against mage. Rather than dissolving it, Grand Enchanter Fiona's vote split the Circle in two. The rebels follow her, the loyalists follow me.
If you lead all the Loyalists, why are you only First Enchanter and not Grand Enchanter?
Grand Enchanters are elected, and since there are no First Enchanters besides myself, no vote can be held. I could name myself Grand Enchanter, but the title holds no meaning now. When the circles are restored, that will change.
What was it like to live in a circle?
My dear, your question is the root of all problems with mages. I cannot tell you. Every circle was different. Their Templars were different, their politics unique. And every person within each tower had an experience of circle life unique to themselves. Some people suffered and some were content. Some were cruel, some compassionate, and some indifferent. The same is true of people everywhere, in all circumstances, whether they are mages or not.
So, tell me about your personal experience with the Circle.
I enjoyed life in the Montsimard Circle, my dear. It was an edifice devoted to knowledge and refinement. And there is comfort to be had, you know, in the company of fellow mages. Those born without magic will never truly understand us.
You must have been under constant supervision being forced by Templars to live in the tower. Was that hard to endure?
My dear, I have a suite in the palace and a wing at my dear Duke Bastien's estate. I've never been forced to live anywhere. Most circles allowed mages to live away from the tower, either on their own or in service to the nobility. All that was required was permission from the first enchanter. Some circles were harsher in their restrictions. Kirkwall was the worst, but it was the exception. Most were quite permissive. perhaps too permissive in retrospect.
Wow, I didn't know that. Wow, the mages look so pathetic now. Okay. So you go get to live in Dragon Age Hogwarts, and then if you're not insane and a danger to everyone else around you, you get to leave and go live wherever you want and still have magic. Oh my god. That sounds awesome. I want to be a mage.
How did we come to this state where the Circle's in revolt?
A failure of perspective that infected Circle leadership. Mages lived solely in a world of Templars and mages. They could not even imagine what was beyond the tower walls. Kirkwall gave the world a reason to remember its fear of magic. A mage killed hundreds with a snap of their fingers. Across Thedas, a new, tangible fear of magic grew. Commoners and nobles alike called out to the Chantry for protection. But the malcontents in the towers thought nothing of this. They cared only for themselves and for their anger at the new Templar restrictions. When a mage attempted to assassinate Divine Justinia again, the mages protested the investigation. The leadership chose to vote on independence based on the intolerable conditions imposed by the Templars, sparing no thought to the fact that magic was more feared in the aftermath of these attacks than it had been since Tevinter's day. So long as they had their freedom, they could care little for riots, angry mobs, or about pitting mages against each other.
Are you familiar with Grand Enchanter Fiona?
We've met. Before her horrendously ill-timed and selfish vote for independence, I thought her adequate at her job. In her dotage, she could not handle looking after the well-being of so many people. We would have done better to replace her years ago, to let her spend time gardening.
Did they have cause to rebel?
In the aftermath of their terrorist attacks? Was that really the most opportune time to break away? By all means protest abuses by the Templars. Just don't do it in a way that says mages support wholesale murder. By voting when they did, my colleagues all but declared war upon the ordinary people of Thedas. A war in which we are outnumbered 100 to 1.
I thought the fighting was only between mages and Templars. Why are mages fighting mages?
The vote for independence was carried by only a small margin, but Fiona chose to let the motion stand. Those who opposed a rash declaration of war against the entire free world had little choice. By breaking from the Chantry when they did, the rebels declared themselves in support of mass murder. Anyone who did not wish to support terrorism and the slaughter of innocents was forced to take arms against the rebels.
I don't think I've ever liked Vivienne more. I think anyone who doesn't like her is... sorry, give me a reason. The only thing I ever hear about why people don't like her is, oh, she's a bitch. Yeah, okay, you just can't handle it then. That's not a bitch, that's someone who just tells the truth. Right? There are plenty of people in the world, and if we're talking about women, there are plenty of women in the world, right, who are not nice people, right? And they use being somebody like Vivienne as an excuse to be twats to everybody, and to have bad attitudes, and to not work on themselves, right? You know, when you think of a strong, independent, intelligent woman, that's what it sounds like. It literally sounds like the conversation we just had with her. That's exactly what it sounds like when you're speaking to one, right? It's just interesting. Like the amount of people that have like, oh, you can't handle my attitude, then no. You don't have the intelligence to have an attitude. I'm sorry, you're just a bitch. Like, people like that, male and female, are very rare. Or who are as intelligent as that, who are as articulate as that, and who can have that conversation with you on your own terms. You know, they're quite rare.
Where'd you learn to hammer?
Stop annoying him, please. Irritant. Right, what am I looking for here? Leather and scales and all sorts. Okay. Fine, but I think I'm gonna go with Let's go get some resources first. We'll get some resources and come back. What do I have in my inventory? Okay, not that much. Okay, that's cool. In fact, I think we'll leave it there for now. So that was our little Skyhold sojourn. And I'll speak to you next time.